Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Universim Season 2. So, left off last episode, moving on quite quickly actually, just using up some of the creative points there and updating the town hall. So we've got the Minister of Food and the Minister of Water straight away.
The unemployment rate.
That will get us the water pumps, reservoirs and eateries or farms, can't remember. But that'll automate that, which will make it nice for us. Again, we're still working on the bottleneck. So up at the map, you can see it goes into the desert. There's that giant mountain on the left-hand side that's a bit in the way, but hopefully it'll actually mean that we'll get some resources from it. So whether that be stone, iron, gas, they sort of hang around usually on the mountainous areas. Oil is usually in the desert. So as it stands, we haven't moved much into the desert, but we will be doing it on this episode quite quickly. I also want to push us through and get us to the electricity side, because that is predominantly what we're changing in this series, and the sort of the branch where everything should start to change.
Isn't fall beautiful? Someone should really make a painting before you lead the planet to ruin.
So as was always the plan, time for the farms, and with the farms I'm going to build probably 3 or 4. I'll aim for 4. We're going to go for desert because that's the space we've got. The grassland area that we're building on, there's nowhere near enough room. The desert is, it's a large-ish desert, but it's the best thing we've got at the minute. So if we move into there with the farms, we'll then build around them.
A farm. I see you are finally
of course, I keep forgetting to press the shift button
need to eat.
to allow me to build multiple buildings in a row.
Off the list
you can also use the control button to snap to the roads, and you can hold shift and control to snap to the roads and build multiple buildings. I wasn't doing it, so yeah, that's why I had to keep going in the menu. Just trying to figure out now whereabouts I can squeeze them in. I'm trying to use I do use the roads as a reference. I don't want to block the roads because they do become very vital later on. Earlier on actually for the couriers, but then later on for the vehicles and then the flying vehicles, etc. So it's best to try and keep the roads intact. As soon as you put something down and they go red, that means the road won't spawn later on. And again, as always, making sure you have your engineer's hut to fix up the buildings that you're building. And reservoirs and eateries for food and water, should that be far enough away. So going into winter, the farms are coming along nicely. One is indeed complete. What I noticed though is, although it's winter now so it doesn't matter, it is trying to grow a crop that is not for the desert. Now, as far as I'm aware, in all cases, you can grow all crops regardless of the location, but there is a penalty, and that penalty is double water. So to grow the crop that it's automated to in the desert, it would cost us twice as much water. So instead, I'm now going to look and try and find a desert crop that provides us with food. Can't be a herb, it has to be food. But what I'm realising is you can't actually pick up seeds in winter. It just destroys the plant. So note to all, to pick up the seeds, you will have to do it in any other month or season other than winter, because winter they just go poof and disappear. So back to the farm, and obviously it's the winter's working its way out, so that's why the desert is starting to warm up, which is nice. But you can see that mobber fruit is grassland, and it is saying that it uses double the water. Provides 14 food, but double the water. We need a crop from the desert, and that crop has to then be planted. I'm reasonably sure it's only done yearly, so if you do it mid-year, you will find that you'll have to wait a whole year before you can actually grow the one that you want. And I believe that's what's happening, or what happens to me. So looking through the vegetation, the foods are quite obvious. You can see one there, juicy acorn. That is still in the snow biome, so it just disintegrates it. But we want something in the desert. There is a lot of cacti, but all that gives you is wood. Although there are cacti in the real world that give you the fruit and stuff, that's not in this game. That one there is, though, the devil's seed, or deadly seed forgive me. But I wasn't sure how to make it kind of be pick-upable because I wasn't aware that at this point that the winter was the issue. So if we grab the telekinesis, you should be able to click it up. Now holding control, you can see it lights up the crop, and then you pick up the seed itself. Chucking that in any of your farms will unlock it, and it's called the deadly seed. 14 food there, but of course it only needs 2 water. And that is what all of them farms will be set to for the foreseeable. There are other desert crops, I believe, but I haven't found them yet. So moving on for progression, then the first couple of manufacturing buildings you get are the stoneworks and the wood refinery and the stoneworks. So the stone refinery, stoneworks, whatever. Stone refinery turns your raw stone into brick, and the wood refinery turns your wood. God, I can't speak today. Raw wood into planks. And they are predominantly what your next buildings will require. All of your parks, pretty much all of the recreational buildings require that as well. And then all of the buildings that are coming up for upgrade now. So I'm building 2 of each, whether I can afford to run 2. You can actually see in the top that I'm having a serious issue with crime. I wasn't aware of it yet. It actually got out of hand before I fixed it. And out of hand, I mean, they started rioting. At that point, I realised the problem and then went to fix it by chucking in loads of parks. And it was at this point that one of the exiles decided to cast a thunderstorm on top of our village, just where I was building, and start destroying the buildings that I've just put down. I quickly went in for the shield to protect it best I could. It did get broken though because there was so much damage coming down from the thunderstorm. We are going to work, and there you go, it was destroyed, and then obviously the damage continues. So you can burst through the shields if you put enough damage down first. But what we need to realise is that the exiles, I'm going to try and actually...
Falling down, all your buildings are falling down, my fair creator.
He's so helpful that he just tells us when everything goes wrong, but he doesn't actually do anything about making it go right. Anyway, so the exiles themselves, as we can scroll over to shortly... I'm actually going to start trading with them to try and make friends with them so that we can get to the part of the game where I've got the tanks and helicopters and attack them with the actual vehicles, because that sounds more fun to me. So we'll pretend to be their friends, and then we will destroy them when they don't expect it. And here it is, the riot that I said that this is when I noticed that there was a problem. Obviously it was shown before. So, chucking down a few spells there to make everybody happy, try and fix the problem. I don't actually know if there is a way of doing it. What I did realise was that using the telekinesis spell to pick them up while they're rioting did seem to stop them rioting, but then new people kept turning up. So the actual fix for this is to get that number down by building the correct buildings to counteract the criminal side of it. I put a little, because they kept firebombing the resident, which they've actually decided to blow up their own houses this time instead of my buildings that I build. But as you can see, pick them up, do that, they forget about writing and go on and do something else. But they just kept coming and coming and coming. So yeah, I don't know if there is a fix for this. If you do, let me know. But as it stands, the best fix, obviously, is to not let it get here to this point in the first place. And there he goes, firebombing lot, throwing Molotov cocktails at the house. And every time I stop one, a new one turns up. Still working on getting some of the the parks down to counteract this criminal problem. It looks like I'm just going to have to suck it up until these buildings are built. So what I'll likely do is just let the game play on a little bit, get some of these buildings built, get the resources built, because it's going to need planks and bricks anyway, and then come back when we've got something more manageable to deal with, instead of the warnings keep coming up that the buildings are being destroyed by the rioting. It's not interesting for you or I. So let's just let this move on a little bit and see how it settles. So it's a few days later and unfortunately in the middle of winter, but now you can see the criminal bar is down to green and everything's hunky-dory. It did take quite a bit of waiting because of the planks and the bricks. As you can see, I'm struggling to keep them because they're needed everywhere. That noise you heard was a UFO breaking through the atmosphere, coming to steal our nuggets or destroy our buildings. So a lightning shock sent him on his way. And another lightning shock sent him down to the ground. That giving us our reward of a mystery box, and we'll get that over to the epicenter and carry on until that is researched. And although it is still winter, nearly the end of winter, but still is winter, you can see there, look, that there is a lot of water pumps being created along there by the governor. Just keeps adding them along the coast, but this is all coming out of the same water volume, so it's nice and easy for us to just chuck a couple of rain clouds on there and top that up as it needs. But 108,000 is not going to go very far. Now, in terms of the defence towers, I've not really seen them do much, or if I have, I've not noticed. So what I thought was the only way to get into the main base or the main city is through this archway. So I decided to put 3 across here. The idea being then that to get to the epicenter or the main village, town, city, whatever it may end up being, you have to go through 1 or 2 of those guard towers and likely will die in the process, which I think it works. But of course, the exiles will attack the outside anyway, so there'll be a lot of buildings destroyed before they get to this area, but it should protect all of this that you're looking at now from that actually happening. I don't want to build too many of the the guard towers, because they knock down they put up the criminal and knock down the happiness. So as I've just done that, there is another park or recreational building that's being built to counteract them 3 that I've just put down. So I've just come back from a hunt around the entire planet, or best I could, for the different types of crops. There are 10 on the planet apparently. I've found 8. I'm trying to find the other 2, one of which is a herb and one of which is a food, but I can't find them. I could Google it, but I'm not yet. I believe at least one of them should be a desert, because I've only found one desert one so far. But I've looked and looked and looked and can't find it. I feel like I may get an achievement if I get all 10 for the planet. I don't know. But it was worth a try. I spent about 10 or 15 minutes doing it, to be honest, and I gave up. So, as it stands, it's 8 out of 10 is the best I can do for now. I've just unlocked the local businesses, which is a recreational building, which is the little shops. They're good because they give both the criminal and the happiness, but also they're small and you can build quite a lot of them. So I'll get a couple of those down as well while we're at it. Resource-wise, we're struggling for planks, but the bricks are building nicely. I can see there are warnings just popped up to say that buildings need repair, which obviously means that I've missed an engineer's hut somewhere. Cemeteries are in the process of being upgraded. But yeah, both them parks there are either not in range or very, very... Yeah, they're not in range. So that's my fault again. But we'll get another one built. It wouldn't hurt actually every now and again just to click on your buildings and from zoomed out point of view and see where and how they're placed. It shows you where they are as long as you've clicked on it first. So that would be worth doing, I would say. Now it's time for bunkers. Now bunkers do come in handy for various different things. It wasn't so much the volcano, but it was for the deep freeze. With the bunkers, I am going to try and place them reasonably well spaced around the whole entire area that people are living in. You don't plan for this, or I didn't plan for this, so luckily with the size of them being reasonably small, we can squeeze them in best I can. There's one I can just get it in there, perfect. And then a couple up here in the desert also, just to make sure that people don't have to run too far to run into a shelter. Of course, I'm not going to do it in the last 5 seconds anyway, so usually I give them a good 30 seconds to 60 seconds head start. But we'll get all of them built, and that's a nice spread, I think, for the nuggets. They hold 25 as they are at the minute, and I think it's 50-ish when they're fully upgraded later on. So we've unlocked gas mines. So I'll get them in straight away. I learnt by my mistakes last time that I left it until I needed the gas. Well, no, let's get the gas coming in. And then I won't have to do... Because in the last series, I don't know if you remember, but there was a couple of times on the episodes where I skipped quite a lot of time because I just left the game to build up the resources. If I get these in, and that's actually a large pocket of gas there, 3,800. If I get them in at the start, then that'll be building up for us over time. And then I'll get this one down as well. But I'm trying to make sure that the circles don't overlap at all, so that all of the resources from each of the buildings are separate. So that's another 3,000-ish, 4,000 gas. So that should be easily pushing the 7,000 to 8,000 gas mark. 4,100, so it's going to be more, yeah. Going to be pushing nearly 8,000 gas in total, which is a lot. And will certainly keep us going. Of course, we don't have the storage for that at the minute, but we will do moving forward. But with that building I've just put in, I've put down an engineer's hut to make sure it doesn't fall down, and then a reservoir to make sure that people going over there are actually able to drink. It will need an eatery as well, of course. Now you saw the root of the problem there popping up. That is the tentacle comes out the hole in the ground. And you need to destroy it to then build your exhibition camp. I'm looking for it blindly, but it's actually over on the other side with the UFO black market thing, which actually turns out to be very, very useful. Let's go and have a look. So here it is. Realistically, it's over there with the black market. Now, nuggets can't actually get over there until I can build a bridge over there, but for now, it can't kill any nuggets. I usually lose like 2, 3, maybe even 10. But in this instance, it looks like I'm going to lose none because no one is there because they can't cross the ocean. So it's very loud to do the lightning shocks for this, so I'll skip until we've actually defeated it because you know this process. It takes about 5 lightning strikes waiting to do it each time. And there it is. And the rain was just to take the flames because it was on fire again and it spreads like wildfire. So I just put the rain down to stop it from flaming. Now all I need to do is the actual research, and we've got 19 minutes to do so to get the research for the building and get that plopped down to complete the quest. And once we've done that, we can then do exhibitions. Now, I haven't got really enough people at the minute, and I'm not too interested in doing that, but I will, again, like I did previously, like a mini-game style. But I'd like to actually try and get a lot deeper than I have, because I only ever seem to make it halfway, and I don't know if I'm just crap or if there's a knack to it. So we'll try again for sure. I, at the minute, don't know of anything that will make much of a difference, but we'll try for sure. And then obviously if anybody's got any better ideas or have got further, please do let me know. I'm not sure what you can get, and if you get to the very bottom, maybe there's an achievement there as well. Always achievement hunting, it can't hurt, can it? So we did get that research, planted the building down, and the quest is complete. So that's all good. Nice and simple. Root of the problem complete. And it unlocks the expedition camp and some believers. Again, getting over there is going to be difficult. The expedition camp builds itself, but getting over there, I'm not sure if... They certainly can't swim, so I'm not sure how they will get over there. Just have a quick look at this, and obviously if there's anywhere you use creator points, I'm going to get the free resources, because creator points I'm doing well because I'm keeping everybody happy. And obviously while you keep the people happy, your creator points goes through the roof. Now you do need to make sure you do nice things regularly to keep that working, and what I do is I just go on a spam of healing the people that need healing. You've seen me do that many times by now, because I'm not one for grinding people up, because to be honest, I struggle with not enough nuggets anyway, so then killing them just defeats the object. I would imagine that's a very hard way to play the game, actually, to get your creator points by grinding up your nuggets. It may be an idea to try it. Whether it's a headache or not, I couldn't tell you because I've not tried it yet, but we can certainly try it if someone's interested. And sometime later, we now have the iron mine as well, so we'll get one of those in because we are starting to need a small amount of iron. But iron, nevertheless, you can see we've got one there, so I'll get another one down just for the pockets. Making sure I don't build multiple on top of the same pocket, because it will be less painful later on. So if we get that one over there, and that's another 1,600 iron down. I think As it stands, there's a few buildings that I'm upgrading that require iron. It's only 2 to 4, not many, but again, it's blocking the process. So we do need to get that coming in. Now we are getting gas very slowly. You can see 16 there from the 2 gas mines. Now, although the gas mines themselves have a lot of gas to gain, I've only put 1 person in each building. So they're very inefficient, but they're working. And that is currently our best option. So we're up there. We're very close now to the power scenario. Certainly by the next episode, we will be making that decision on the power. If anybody's got any preferences between combustion or kinetic, let me know. We won't be going for wind, though. Kinetic is basically hamster wheels that the nuggets have to run on to create clean energy, but you need nuggets to do that. Combustion is using gas, but creates massive pollution problems. So it's one of the two there. We're not going to go with the wind power that we've done, or I've done anyway, last season, and then the multiple times before I've played. Just to show you, actually, we're getting really close to the energy there. You can see combustion, kinetic in the middle, and wind at the top. That is the decision that we're going to have to make in the next episode. I'm going to end the episode here because it is at the 20-minute mark. So thank you very much for watching. If you like the video, please click like. Any comments are welcome. Subscribe for more. Take care. Goodbye.